What's Shade doing?
She is just creeping on Pog. Like, she doesn't know what to do. She tried talking earlier and doesn't feel like it's the right time to talk. So she's just watching Pog. She's not being secretive about it. She's just like...
I know you're there.
Standing... You should. I was not hiding.
Hello, and welcome to Khyber Shards, a 5th edition actual play show set in the Eberron Campaign world. It is time to leap back into our adventure. Eric, please regale us with recent events.
Recent events in general. Said before we started recording, probably the low point of Ari's life has been going on in this past arc. But specifically, we split up to escape the city. Ari and Ezri, and then Pog and Shade went in respective groups into the jungle, just on the outskirts of town, to lay low for the night. Then at one point during the night, Ari heard some noises and went to go investigate, and saw, heard some laughing, and then heard some murdering, and then saw a body getting dragged out of a ditch.
One always leads to the other.
Yep. Then a large cat snuck up on Ari, and Ari was once again forced to face his impending mortality. And then it was Cal. So Cal led Ezri and Ari back to Pog and Shade. Nothing was really hashed out. A lot of things were said, but there wasn't any real resolution in terms of the horrible, no good, terrible night we've all had. And the decision was made to go ahead and take the map to Hallis Martain at the Wayfinders Guild to go ahead and get his consultation on the map to get an idea of what we might be handing over to Tommel. And as we did that the following morning, after only a short rest, as we were approaching a bridge to cross into the city, saw hanging from a light post the corpse of a storm hammer with the emblem of Volkor carved into clothing, flesh, what? I can't recall. Face, forehead, cool, forehead, creepier, signifying, at least Ari and Pog could recognize Volkor being a god worshipped by a very specific faction of Drow.
Probably, to your knowledge, the Drow.
The Drow, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, Ari, Pog, and Ezri have no idea that Shade went to a Drow and told them that the Stormhammers were threatening their daughter. So, are those connected? Stay tuned. And that's where we left off.
All right.
Don't look sad, Casey. You got a bad person killed. Presumably a bad person killed. You don't need to feel bad.
A clarifying statement about what we do and don't know. Have those who recognize this symbol shared it with those who do not? Certainly.
Well, that's a fair point with the recap. Pog had a great line about allying ourselves with them. So I guess that would lead into asking.
That's true. The button of our episode was Pog saying, we go to them.
Yeah.
So that is probably what you all just heard while staring at this corpse.
What? Who?
The Drow.
Who?
That's the symbol of the Drow's god. At least the prevalent Drow god. I don't know.
Are they
this can't be related to our thing.
I mean, they're probably mad that they tried to kill or threatened Ilya. We were mad that they threatened the kids.
So when you went to go talk to Ilya's parents, you told them that the Stormhammers were the ones threatening her.
I thought it was very nice to tell the children's parents that they might be in danger. I thought you would appreciate that, Ari.
Yeah, I think I told Donnabella's mom that it was the Stormhammers too. I can't remember. I imagine there won't be as quite a harsh retaliation from her. But
they are very strong.
I think Pog might be onto something though.
So have we moved completely outside the idea that it's Tommel threatening the kids, and it's now just the Stormhammers, all of them? That's not Tommel.
No.
That's true.
She didn't tell them Tommel. She told them Stormhammers.
Do we recognize that
no.
Stormhammer? Is this one of the people that we saw with Tommel at the shop?
No, this is not one of the people who was with Tommel at the store.
Okay.
I also, as a player, don't specifically remember what I told them. So
You did say Stormhammers.
Okay. I did not specify this particular person that is doing the threatening.
I mean, regardless, it might just be Tommel that wants this map too. I don't know, but the Stormhammers aren't good, Esri. I've had run-ins with the Stormhammers before. Can we walk and talk? We need to keep moving.
Should we cut this down, or
no? Leave it up. Let the Stormhammers see it.
cool?
Should we tell the Moonspears that it was just Tommel, as far as we know?
Oh,
I mean,
wait! Before I reach my hand up, like sort of towards the corpse, and just I don't touch it, just like in its direction, and just like, do I hear anything? Wait, really? Okay. Wait.
What?
Why are you waving at it?
Can I reach the corpse, or is it like high up?
You could probably touch somewhere like below the knee.
Right, yeah.
Shade, you have quite a high passive perception, right?
I do, if 15 is quite high.
The corpse definitely twitched.
So hearing it, I just kind of walk up and grab the leg and give it a shake.
How do we confirm he's dead?
What did?
What?
The body moved.
I'm shaking the leg of the corpse.
It's because Ezra's shaking it.
There are some people who are kind of
Yeah, we're drawing a lot of
as you walk as they walk by.
Like, there are people,
but you hear, you hear.
Oh, still just Ezra hears.
Just Ezra.
Okay, so the thing with the, what do we call it? Head throat,
Corpse?
something like that.
Mind throat.
Mind throat. Yeah, the noises are. I'm hearing them again.
Okay.
Can I roll
Ezra,
medicine?
You
to
are
see if
touching a
he's
corpse
dead?
hanging from a pole.
Sure.
We are getting looks here. I have to imagine there are people that are.
Yeah.
seeing
The city is resuming its daily life. People are passing by. Some people are. People are noticing the corpse and giving a look at the corpse. Ezri shaking the corpse's leg got looks, but you're not the only people who are simply gawking.
Yeah.
I rolled an 8.
What did you get? You rolled an 8. It looks dead.
Pretty sure it's dead.
Can
That
I-
twitch must have been just Ezri shaking a dead body. This is weird. We should leave.
Yeah, I'm with Shade. I think we need to keep moving.
All right. I'm just. It's fine. I'm sure. Fine.
Okay. Well, then let's. And Ari starts to do that awkward, like, "Are you going to follow me?" Walk away thing. That Eric does frequently when he wants people to.
Shade has
Ari's
never
just
done
standing-
that.
Ari's standing like 8 feet away from the group, like, okay, like.
Pog is just
And, like,
looking at Ezra.
Ezra goes. I
Guys,
guess
go.
it's. This person is tragically dead. I don't.
What are you doing?
Who are you talking to right now?
Just in the air.
Pog's
Are
gonna
you
put his
high?
hand on Ezri's
Are
shoulders
you
and
high
say,
again?
"Are you okay? You're shaking bodies and yelling at people that aren't talking to us."
Yeah. Okay. Well, the two aren't exactly related.
But they both just happened.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm hearing dead people. I think.
Again?
Yeah.
You heard this dead people?
Again?
Well,
What?
it was non-specific. Let's walk. We'll walk. As we're walking. Yeah, it was very non-specific, groany. But I
You can hear dead people now?
You said you saw Shade. You saw him move.
I did think I saw a small twitch, but then also you were touching his leg. So
Well, yeah, I was trying to see if he was dead or if like alive and moaning.
I was also trying to look for that, but I think he was really dead.
Okay. Well, we've got so many things to talk about and think about, and but that's not what we're doing right now. Right now, we're trying to not die, and we're trying to have other people not die. Lots and lots of other people not die.
Ari is also mindful of keeping his like he's holding his jacket closed once they cross the bridge, realizing that his vest and shirt are cut from belly button to mid chest, and there's blood all over his clothes. So just walking with that to that would draw some attention too.
Yeah.
So also I know that you healed it, Ezri, but I want a scar left behind from that. So just point of order.
Noted.
The nanobots couldn't heal all the scar tissue.
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Let it be done. But yeah, I mean, heading to the Wayfinders Guild. That's
Okay.
where Ari's headed. Who has the map? Pog?
It's still Pog.
Okay. That's what I figured.
How much time do we have in this walk? Is there time for conversation, or are we?
Yeah, there's
are
time
we
for
there?
conversation.
Okay. So just to the group, I need a little bit of clarification. Again, seems to happen a lot these days. But I'm a little confused about where the lines have gone. Shay, you seem very anti-killing Tommel, and Pog, you seem very pro killing. Maybe I shouldn't say these. Pro giving our friend ice cream.
No, I want him to die.
Yeah, but it's like
Ezri,
instead of
Ezri, we
be
live in
okay giving
Stormreach.
him
People
ice
talk
cream.
about killing people in the street a lot.
Okay,
I don't think
fine.
we're going to draw a lot of attention.
killing our mutual friend.
He is not my friend.
A couple of people walk by. And so then I stabbed him in the face.
Which isn't even how you would kill somebody. A stab in the face is just cruel. Like, you don't kill him.
Okay, Tommel then. I just would have expected it to be the opposite. So what?
Thank you.
No, thank
Why?
you.
Okay, why? Pog, why are you so intense right now? This is kind of new. I'm doing this with my hands.
Tommel is all bad now.
Okay.
Ari said Tommel may be good still, and then everything that we have, Tommel said bad things about that he would take or hurt. There's no good in that.
But when do you decide who's all good and who's all bad?
When they show you.
But I have done some things that were bad, and I'm trying to get better. But what if they're bad things, and then you decide that I don't get to live?
Your shade, not Tommel. You've done bad
But-
things that were done for good. Everything that Ari says about Tommel is just for more bad things. We have to give him this map, or he does bad things. If we give him this map, he does bad things bigger with bigger bad people.
What? Our marks have changed, and your mark, your ice cream has changed.
My what?
Well, we know.
Colin, tell us how Pog's mark has changed visibly.
So, Pog has not yet been informed of this. We kind of slept it off.
Yeah.
Like it was a headache, but it's no longer the just right side of the head fading around the ear. It is now completely crowning around the back and to the other side, and it's beginning down the neck. So, we are in full wrap around here. We're getting pretty post Maloney right now. Full wrap around, and then leading down below the shirt collar, but trailing off right at high shoulders is where the mark has grown to.
Remind me, how much of that is covered?
Up until now, the one side could have the long hair laid down over it.
So one side is now visible? Is that what's going on?
My hair would be down at this point, so maybe like a loose,
okay, so both sides.
Yeah, it's not covered like I was planning to have this side need to be covered.
It's probably not terribly noticeable right now, but if it were to light up, then it would be very easily seen.
What ice cream are you talking about?
We have things on us that we're not supposed to talk out loud about because sometimes people will get upset about them.
Our abilities have changed. What we can do.
Yeah.
That's much better way of wording that. Yes.
Yeah.
And the things that do the abilities have grown. Like yours is more around your head now.
Yeah. When did that happen?
When he was running down the alley, then it was bright.
Just for walking order configuration, Ari is a couple steps ahead of the group. Like he'll occasionally talk back and interject with that kind of like our abilities have changed, but he's not actively engaged in the conversation, I guess.
Okay. You can definitely feel it, Pog. It's still probably tender.
On the hot is now ice cream. The hot part is ice cream.
No, I tried to be clever.
No,
like,
I mean
Esri, but it
ice
didn't.
cream for our mark. Like you meant ice cream.
Works.
I get it now. Yeah, good one. Good one. For a second, I was like, when did we get ice cream? But now, I get it.
Awesome.
Wow, you left her hanging there.
He did.
Never
He
seen
did,
that
but it's
before.
okay.
Did you put? Sorry, I was playing with my hair. I'm nervous.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. But what if the ice cream changes us in a way that we need help coming back from? And what if his ice cream changed him? I don't want y'all to decide to kill me because I can't control things about myself.
You think his ice cream
Good
has
job.
caused his personality to change?
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, suppose it's possible.
I don't know
exactly.
enough about ice cream to know if that's how it works.
Same.
I mean, the guys who'd been in the program longer than us had some pretty big ice cream. And they were still cool, right?
Until they weren't.
Well, I mean...
Dane is the name that you're trying to think of, I think.
Sure. The
one that rescued us.
Those that saved us, I mean, they're like us. Just way more powerful. But they were still nice.
It might not be his ice cream. It might be where he was when he got more ice cream that made him bad.
Yeah, Ari was saying something like that.
I'm so tired.
I'm sure it wasn't his ice cream, because I know my ice cream is a gift from the forest, but also I got lost in the forest last time, so maybe it's upset with me, and maybe it turns on you. Is that?
Shade, if we promise that we're not going to kill you, does that change your mind about anything? We're not killing... Well, we're not talking about killing him because of his abilities or because he lost control. He seems very in control to me.
Would you have promised 2 years ago to not kill him? Probably.
How about this? I promise, I S3, promise you, Shade, that I will not kill you unless you resort to threatening groups of people in order to get your way. Individuals are fine. We're talking about groups.
I promise I will never try to kill any of you three. And if you try to kill large groups of people, I'll just stop you. I won't kill you, though. And only you three. I've never
Ari, moment of
promised to not
solidarity
kill
here.
I know this isn't my place, but from a character standpoint, if anybody would like to make an insight check on Ari's back, based on what Pod just said, you can.
Insight's what I do. I'll do that.
It is not what Shade does.
This time it's not.
Natural
well, yeah.
1 for a total of 6.
Okay.
I rolled a 2.
It is your back.
I have a 4.
Cool. All right.
You've never noticed
Ari?
that Ari
Ari
has a
seems
really,
Go
really
ahead.
plain back.
It seems totally chill and totally fine with this entire conversation.
That back is lying. I can tell. It's not how he really feels.
That doesn't matter.
Sorry,
Ari?
His mouth
Ari,
didn't
you
say
wanna-
it.
You want to not... We're promising not to kill each other here. You in? No?
I'm trying to think if there's a role where I can make Ari decide
We can
if now is the time and place for any.
We can exclude
I mean,
Ari
it's
from the
probably
deal.
wisdom. It's up to you.
It's fine.
Yeah, famously good role.
Wisdom would be the role for discernment.
Does this mean that Ari's going to try to kill us?
Ari pauses for a beat and then just looks over his shoulder while he's walking and goes, I promise I won't try to kill any of you. And then he goes back to walking.
That was weird, right?
I think he's leaving the door open for large groups of people if he so chooses. That's okay. We can put an asterisk by his name. We're all good for now, right?
Sure, we're all good, Ezri.
Uh-huh. Sorry, back to the point. Does that change anything, Shade?
I don't know. I appreciate the promise. But you're right. I'm generally not against killing people. That's just not. That's, if it's not the worst. But
Ari's back seems great. Totally fine.
It really does. It's very symmetrical.
Yeah.
coat is really nice.
He has nice
Pog's
posture.
not even looking at it. Just looking at Shade while she talks.
I just there's been a lot of people that have tried to kill us. And if we start killing people like us, then that just increases the amount of people trying to kill us a lot. That was not well said, but it's what it got.
Okay.
And with that, we approach the looming towers of the nest. The enormous hulking giant ruin. As you make your way around and into the huge open entryway, where you see, as before, alcoves along the sides and displays set throughout of various famous Wayfinder finds and archaeological discoveries, with the names of their discoverers along it. In the midst of the room, as before, you see a
Before we
large...
go in,
Yeah.
that's a point of clarification. All right, so I want to go on the record just one more time that a man could go in with the map by himself. Best idea. If that's not on the table, are we all going?
Yes. You're all coming in.
Pog takes the map off his back and puts it under his arm without saying anything.
All right.
Good. All right.
In the midst, as before, there's a large desk behind which stands the older beast-hide shifter that you met last time, Carva. She is leaned over something on the table, and sitting on a stool on the opposite side of the desk, there is a gnome with a just very unkempt, long white beard and kind of wild white hair that's been pulled back into somewhat of a semblance of order. A lot like, this is now a very dated reference, but probably one that the audience will mostly get, like Shepherd Book, the way his hair is tied back, but you know that if it came out, it's going to go like everywhere.
If you don't get that reference, you stop this video right now.
Please don't. Please keep watching.
But later, watch Firefly. It's awesome.
It's a very dated show from the early 2000s that ran for one season. So unless you were there, you probably won't get it.
Yeah,
but
nothing else
but
happens.
it's good. Go check
afterwards.
it out. Anyway, moving on. And they are leaned close over a small, boxy, oddly shaped boxy object. and the dwarf, or sorry, the gnome, is speaking. So what you do is you begin here, and here we are safe from each other, but here in the middle we are at war. And as once you begin this path, if I come along and land here, as I certainly will, then off you go. And if you have the ill grace to come along and land here where I am, then off I go. And our goal is to get around and off the other side again. Carva looks up. A moment.
Hi, Carva.
You're back.
Yeah.
What can I do for you?
Here to see Hallis again.
He's popped out for a bit. Let me see. And she walks back over. The gnome looks up at you and sees he's got spectacles, little brown spectacles. Good morning. What? Morning? Yes, morning.
It's a day. I'm Ari.
He climbs down off the stool and bows. Irving Finkel, late of the Library of Korenberg.
Oh. Never had the pleasure of visiting the Library of Korenberg, but I hear it's a good place.
Yes. Foremost research site in giantology, and that is my broad field. Myself, specialty, I am a necroarchaeologist, but working here in Stormreach on consultation with the Wayfinders sort.
Oh, okay. Very cool. And what did you say your specialty is?
Necroarchaeology.
Okay. So is that...
I learn about the past by talking to the dead.
Ah, very good. Thank you for the clarification.
What was your name again?
Irving Finkel.
All right. Thank you.
Any big finds lately?
In fact, yes. And he walks over and picks up a fairly large tablet. He says, this, of course, would just be palm-sized in a giant's hand, and sets it down, and you can see there's runic writing scratched into the tablet. This is a letter written by a giant who lived probably not far from Stormreach, but we uncovered it thousands of miles away in the southern deserts. And in it, he's speaking to a giant friend of his there, who he is describing and explaining the rules for this game here, which I have recreated using his description, and he gestures at the sort of boxy, oblong object that he and Carva were leaning over.
So to speak with the dead, do you have to have their remains, or is there
yes,
any kind of residual
and
spirit on objects?
A skull is generally necessary, although not a giant practice, but some elven cultures bind the spirits of their dead into objects, and it is sometimes possible to access the thoughts and minds of those beings as well, despite their not having a physical head anymore.
Are
but
their
typically,
spirits conscious while they're in this object?
Yes. Yes.
That sounds horrifying.
A way of remaining with one's kin and of continuing to be a resource for advice and wisdom and knowledge. The elves write very little of their own history down because it remains living with them.
Have you had any reason to poke about the Obsidian City at all?
Oh, no, I've never been to the Obsidian City.
Wasn't sure. Seems like an important place of giant knowledge, so I wasn't sure.
Certainly an important site, but not very accessible to researchers.
Very good.
Carva comes back over. He says he'll be here directly. He's just around the corner.
Great. Thank you, Carva.
How do you speak with the dead?
Oh, there are numerous spells and incantations. It's a very simple way. He looks about. Khyber, surely there's a skull around here somewhere. Khyber looks at him. No erring. I don't have a skull about me desk. Well, if I had one, I take, and he reaches around in one of his pockets, a candle like this one, which is made of tallow rendered with some very specific ingredients that needn't bother you just at the moment, but you place it inside the skull and light it, and then you speak the correct set of incantations, and then it'll temporarily recall the spirit of the deceased into the skull, and it will talk back to you and answer questions.
What about the groaning? Can you the groaning that corpses do? How do you stop that? Or do you just always hear that?
I'm not familiar with what you're describing.
Oh.
Just often when corpses are reanimated, they do emit, if they are recently dead enough to still have vocal cords, they do often emit a groaning sound as their respiratory system works. They're not exactly breathing, but as their respiratory system goes through its mechanical operations, they do sometimes emit a groaning sound.
How long are you going to be in Stormreach, Mr. Finkel?
Oh, some while, I should think. And you hear behind you, back and in need of my services.
Indeed.
Alice walks in.
Let me get this gold out of my inventory real quick.
Come. He
Yes.
leads you up the stairs to the same sitting area as before. And you brought friends.
Yes.
How marvelous.
These are our associates. This is Hallis Martain.
We've met?
Oh, yes. Yes, you met them before. That's right.
Yes, you were all there in the incident with the mummy. Yes, very good. Excellent.
And Ari sets a gold on Hallis's desk.
Thank you very much. And he puts it into a rather heavy-looking coin purse on his belt.
Good for him. Pog, will you let Hallis see the map?
Is he at a desk?
You have it. There is a table. You have it.
We do.
Well, I'm much relieved. I was just over in the bazaar this morning. I thought I might have a look at it in case you had been unable to procure it and be able to, better consult for you when you
appreciate that.
When you brought it around. I thought I should take a look at it, see it with my own eyes, and strangest thing has occurred. There was a break-in at Forgotten Places, and a very valuable map was lost. Moreover, there was a fire.
Wow.
Yes, quite the to-do.
We don't live in that part of the city, so I guess that...
Oh, no,
we've
it
just
must have been... It must have been an entirely different map. The perpetrators were all killed in the fire, apparently. But,
The City Watch did something correctly then.
Perhaps. But the Madani sleuth on the scene cleared it all. But a few dead thieves, a fire in the city. That's a Zor night for you.
Can I insight check that to see if he's as blasé about
Which
this
part?
as he seems?
You certainly
I
can.
guess I'm thinking of two things. One, has he put it together? Two, does he care as little as he seems to indicate?
Okay, give me a roll of insight.
14.
14. He does not seem in the least bit concerned about what went on last night. And it's hard to tell whether he has, whether he identifies you as the actual thieves. But he definitely seems very nonchalant about the crime that went down.
And yes, I believe he is sitting at a desk.
Yeah, there's a table here.
I'll take the map and unfurl it, keeping the top left corner grabbed in my hand. So it's on the desk, but not released.
Okay. He leans over it and puts his hands on the edges and begins to pick it up and lean back and may I?
No.
I see.
Pog.
No.
Interesting. Very well. He holds it spread out on the table and leans over it. Well, it's very finely made, and dragon hide is a very unusual material. Well, I mean, as you described, it certainly purports to show the way to the Obsidian City.
You mentioned a map not being helpful against the Traveler's Curse. Is there anything on this that would indicate that it could overcome that?
Well, I could have it examined more thoroughly if I could take it to have it examined more thoroughly by one of our mages, of course.
How long would that take?
Not very long. Under an hour, I should think.
Well, the whole reason we came here is to learn more about this map, and it sure would seem a shame to not find everything we can out about this map. Ari says, side-eyeing Pog.
Quite.
So, some reason the mage couldn't be brought here?
Well, our mage rights have all of their implements and such set up in our in an office on another level.
We're apprehensive about letting it out of our sight at the moment.
My honor as a wayfinder is not sufficient.
It's not... I mean... Pog?
I'll go with it.
Yes, certain areas of the nest are not available to guests.
Ari, you want the most important thing that we have to be taken away from us to strangers, to a place that we can't go to.
Won't leave the premises.
Ari.
Pog, I have paid this gentleman here for consultation fees in a transaction. If it were up to me, I'd let him take the map and bring it back. And if he didn't bring the map back, then we could have a different conversation. But I don't think that's a conversation that he would want to have.
Oh, no. No, of course not.
Pog lets go of the map and stands up straight. Your choice,
There we go.
Ari.
Excellent. And he rolls the map up and tucks it. Coat. You're free to wait here, or if you want to peruse the museum on the lower level, you're free to do that as well. I'll be back very shortly.
Thank you.
Walks off.
As soon as he leaves, just out of earshot, should I follow him?
No.
No.
Okay.
This is not... He either comes back with it or he doesn't. And yes, if he doesn't, things get very, very complicated.
This is what he does. This is his job. If we were at a blacksmith and they asked to take the sword back to the forge, nobody would freak out about it. We literally paid him to do this.
If... Ari, I agree with the decision. Just saying, if someone was a dishonest blacksmith and you brought them a extremely rare magical sword and they took it to the back and decided that your 1 gold wasn't worth not stealing your very valuable sword, they might do it. I don't think he's that
Pog
kind.
walks out of the office.
Cool.
Pog, where are you? No, where are you going?
Downstairs.
It's downstairs in the museum. Is that what he said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will follow Pog.
So it's just me and Ari in the office then.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of hesitation earlier.
About what?
We were talking about not killing Shade.
There's a lot of talk about killing people once they prove that they're bad. And I'm fuzzy on the conditions of that level of decision making. I murdered somebody last night, Esri. I murdered somebody. Am I bad? Pog gonna kill me?
Wasn't there for that.
You'll have to take my word for it. In anger and cold blood, I killed somebody.
Well, okay.
They weren't defenseless. They could have killed me as easily, but I didn't kill them to protect myself. I killed them because I wanted them dead. And up until the point that I realized that you 3 were alive, I was happy I did it. And I'm sorry, Esri, but last night was 100% avoidable. And the expectation that Shade and I were just going to sit at home and wait for you all to stroll in the morning with the map. Think we weren't going to come looking? You think there wasn't going to be a point where we were on the scene? Because Pog seemed real mad that we showed up looking for you all to see what had happened. And that it was my fault that I almost died last night.
Okay. Okay. 2 different things here. There was a...
There's more than 2, but I'm just trying to focus right now.
I was unclear about a lot of things. Nor am I saying that it was a good idea. Obviously, not a good idea. You're kind of assuming that my choice was between what we did and what you would like us to have done. And admittedly, again, didn't pull it off right. But my choice was between trying to stop Pog and then or leaving Pog.
How much time did you have between deciding to do your plan and actually executing your plan? Not enough time to make it to the treehouse and back?
The player, don't honestly remember if I would.
We decided
know
that it
or not.
wasn't enough time to make it back before they closed.
No. At least we didn't think so. And we didn't know if you were at the treehouse. I mean, that would have been the first place to check. But we didn't know. As for the murdering, do keep in mind that my path into the discussion was not about whether or not someone is good or bad or prove they're good or bad.
I mean, you want to kill Tommel also, right?
I think that it is most likely the most efficient way to stop the problem. I don't want to kill Tommel. I don't particularly care at this. I don't want him in my life. But I don't particularly need him dead, other than the fact that he is holding something over our heads that we can't get out from under. Unless, I don't know, all of them leave town. All the families. I'm open to all the other possibilities. I'm just not seeing a lot. I'm waiting. We're here. I'd like us all to be on the same page at some point.
Me too.
I didn't go there expecting to steal, to do what we did. I thought we were going on information finding, and I found lots of very valuable information that would have been useful in developing a nuanced strategy. It just... yeah. And as for Pog, I don't know. I don't get it. He's different. Something's different.
I'm honestly, at this point, beyond discussing the map and the job with Tommel and all that stuff, everything else, I'm equal parts to enraged and terrified to have a productive conversation about it, and I don't want to say something that I'm going to regret about anybody, including myself. And that's what I got, Esri. Like, I know I've taken my licks when we've gotten into street fights. I've been knocked out unconscious, but I had steel in my guts last night, like left in a alleyway to bleed out and die. Which is felt different than the other times. A lot different. And then reconciling once you showed up, and Shade showed up, and saw Pog, that I had murdered somebody for no good reason. I have a lot of emotions going on. So I'm going to prevent myself from digging too deep on a lot of things right now. And I hope that you can respect that. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Pog has seemed different since last night, into today. I don't know why, but right now I'm not the person to have that conversation with him. Maybe you, maybe Shade. Not me.
What's going on downstairs?
What is the first bench that Pog could have arrived on and stared aimlessly at the artifact in front of him? That's where he is.
It's a fine example of wood-crafted bench making.
That's the artifact.
That the artifact is the bench?
He said, "What is the first bench?" He didn't
Yeah.
ask
Well,
me what the
okay,
artifact
then
is.
Pog is sitting on the bench artifact.
Sir, you can't sit on that bench.
It's an ancient giant bench,
It's a-
so it's really a
sarcophagus, sir.
The artifact.
It won't. I'm doing what it was made to do.
No, I'm leaning into it now. Yep, the bench is the artifact.
And that's where I'm going to lean right back. That's where Pog is sitting, completely oblivious to the placard giving information about that bench in front of it.
unhook the velvet rope in front of it so you can sit down.
Weird
Hook
for
it
this
back
to be
behind
here in front
me.
of a bench. The VIP section.
That's how I think I'm private. I put the velvet rope back behind me. Sit back.
I'm sorry, I now have this great visual of Shades behind the velvet rope.
What's Shade doing?
She is just creeping on Pog. Like, she doesn't know what to do. She tried talking earlier and doesn't feel like it's the right time to talk. So she's just watching Pog. She's not being secretive about it. She's just like
I know you're there.
standing. You should. I was not hiding.
You can sit if you want.
She unhooks the velvet rope.
Make sure you close that or other people are going to come in here.
I have a question. What's Carva doing right now?
Carva and Irving seem fixated on this game that Irving is trying to teach her.
And she sits down.
I don't like any of this, Shade. I hope you know I don't want to kill people. I don't want to kill Tommel. I think we have to.
But there's lots of bad people in this city. Like, there's just a lot of bad people.
Mm-hmm.
We aren't just gonna go around killing all of the bad people. Right?
No. No, but I don't know any other way to make our people safe. I
We
don't.
know that. But we don't know that killing Tama will make them safe.
We know that if we don't, they won't be safe. We did this thing for Tommel, and now he can just make us do another one, and another one, and another one.
But we could tell all of the other parents, and then they could help protect the kids. Or we could stand outside of their homes at nighttime. I think that we can't just go down the list and kill all of the Stormhammers. That's a lot of people, and that's a lot of killing. I don't think Ari would like that.
I don't care. Ari lied to us. Ari lied to us the night before we did this. He said that we were not going to tell, that we were not going to tell the parents. And then when I left my room, I went to go watch from your spot. And Ari was taking them away to the Sword and Sheath. He went and told them. He did what he said we should not do. Ari made his own plans and did things on his own. The opposite of what Ari told us he was going to do.
I didn't think of it like that. I went and told the Moon Spears.
And we said you should. The others, we weren't going to. I was going to go watch all night. What your idea to keep them safe is. And after he talked and said, we don't, he did.
I did not remember that.
And we have to do this all by ourselves because he talked and said, we don't get anybody else. And then his idea is you two go and get someone else. And now we're here. These are not friends in this place.
No, I do not love it here.
I wanted to tell friends for help. His idea was go to strangers and hope. I don't know, Shade. I don't know what the right thing to do is, but we keep doing things that just take longer. We get into bigger trouble.
We do get into a lot of trouble. Ari said no to getting help to fight the Stormhammers.
I didn't say we had to fight. I wanted friends to go with us in case we had to.
That probably would have ended in a fight. But Ari didn't go to people who would help in a fight this time. He went to people who have more information.
But this doesn't help us. Being here doesn't help us. We gave him the map so that we can have a better idea of what bad thing is coming, but we're still gonna give it to Tommel so the bad thing still comes? Except it becomes a bigger fight?
But maybe we can stop the bad thing? Does killing Tommel stop the bad thing? It's a whole group of people. I don't think Tommel keeps it to himself.
I don't know.
But we can't not give it to him. Those kids
I don't know.
not hide well.
They're really bad. They're really bad.
Yeah.
Tommel's the only one that said he could hurt them. We brought that here, and now we're talking again, which means that whatever trouble we were going to get into is about to become bigger trouble, because that's what happens when we talk about trouble. We know about the Tommel trouble. But now we're gonna have even bigger trouble, which we haven't solved anything before. So it's just bigger and the same at the same time.
I see your point. There isn't an obvious solution. I don't know what the right choice is.
All I know is the choice that feels wrong, and there's different things that feel wrong to all of us, so I don't know.
Maybe making friends in town was a bad idea. Because now they're being threatened. If we didn't make friends, they wouldn't be threatened.
I don't know.
So, after a little while, Hallis comes back down with the map into the sitting area where Esri and Ari are. Well, I can say with certainty that this is a magical map.
Hold on. Just like, is this a door, like a room, or is it like a?
No, it's just a landing.
Okay. Shane, Bob.
Echo.
I don't know where they are.
Huh. I guess they're ready for us.
Yeah, do we hear that?
Yeah, oh yes. Yes, this is a cavernous room. It echoes.
What?
Oh, he just yelled our names.
What?
Do the
I don't have it.
Pog, maybe we should just leave. He just yelled our names and map.
All of it's a bad idea today. All of it's a bad idea.
Really miss the jungle.
We should
I'm
go
very
to them.
sorry.
Yeah.
Ari says to Hallis.
Let's go up there, Shade.
So as you two are coming up the stairs, Hallis is talking. The map is certainly magical. Our best understanding, it is a very old sort of magic, so it is difficult, but our best understanding is that the map seems somehow to, within its very specific boundaries, account for the Traveler's Curse, and to shift in such a way as to allow for reasonably accurate travel, though it seems very specifically targeted towards Hakam Kalnak, the Obsidian City. So, it would not be of use for travel generally in Zendrick, but to this particular location, it would seem as though it would allow one to make your way through the jungle with greater precision towards this particular location. Though, of course, it would provide no protection against other hazards of the jungle. I could put together quite an impressive expedition with this artifact here if you were to like to be investors in such a venture. The map, of course, would be sufficient investment and would be a very substantial one. I can tell you the profit from such a venture would be likely enormous.
Unfortunately, at this particular instance, we're not in a position to use the map as collateral for that.
I see.
However, I do have a question regarding that. If you were to launch an expedition, how would you account for the Sulop presence in the city?
I would go heavily armed.
Heavily armed, just fight your way through. Okay.
Well, it depends on what they are doing there. They are not people that we have a great deal of contact with. I would go prepared to defend myself and hope that my understanding and charm would win me through.
And I know that there wasn't a whole lot of answers last time, and if there isn't any more, I don't know if you've looked into anything since we last spoke, but somebody going to this city with ill intent, any idea of what they might be looking to get?
Any number of things. It was a royal residence for one of the dynasties, so it could have any number of precious artifacts kept there for protection or for a treasury or in a treasury. I would assume there are probably mausoleums, as it was a royal residence, and so there might be valuable grave goods. It would be very difficult to predict what one might find there. And the map, alas, the map is not so detailed as to account for what is at the ruins, nor what would be left at the ruins after all these years.
I know that when it comes to an understanding of Zendrick and important places, things like that, I doubt there's anybody we could get a finer consultation with than you.
No, certainly not.
Hallis. But do you happen to be aware of any specialists, perhaps, in the Obsidian City? Anybody whose knowledge is lacking compared to yours in other areas, but maybe has a deeper understanding of the Obsidian City?
It's quite a mysterious site. It might be someone who studied giant culture might be able to tell you some sort of stories regarding it. But to my knowledge, no one has ever successfully led an expedition there. So no one has ever studied the site itself. No one from the city. To my understanding, there are probably various native cultures of the jungle perhaps pass that way, and might be, but they would not be easy to consult with.
Okay. Well, I think that's about time, I imagine.
Quite.
Yes. So I appreciate your time, Alice.
I assure you, my pleasure.
And
Holds out the rolled up map.
Pog stays in the doorway, not moving towards it.
Ari, with a sigh, takes the map.
Very good.
Thank you. Ari begins to walk towards the doorway. And if Pog does not immediately move, Ari, as he walks past Pog, kind of places the map in Pog's chest and lets go of it. And walks past.
All right, I'll hold it.
And Ari's out of the room on his way down.
Can I tell at a glance that it's the right map?
At a glance,
Now
Yes.
that I'm holding it, can I look it over?
sure. Paul, give me an investigation check. Esri, do you have detect magic? You remember that it was
I'll go ahead.
magical.
I will cast detect magic. Yes.
Okay. Paul, give me an investigation check. What'd you get?
10.
10. Okay. So, Pog, you kind of turn it. It looks like the same object, certainly. Esri, it still has a magical
Right before
aura.
I cast it, I go, seriously, no offense. And I cast it. The eyes glow, because they do.
All right. So, Esri, you observe that it has the same magical aura that it had before. Give me a perception check.
15.
You do observe that in one corner on the back, there is now a small arcane mark that was not there before.
Does it give off a different aura than the map itself?
It appears to be nothing but a little arcane mark.
May I make an Arcana check just to see if I happen to recognize it?
Sure.
This is very bad for me, so yeah, total of 3.
Makes sense.
You know
It's
it was not
your
there before.
arcane mark. It's yours.
It's your thumbprint.
You know for certain it was not there before, but you don't immediately recognize the symbol.
Has Shade left yet?
No.
Can I catch up with you guys? I just want to have one quick word. I'll be right down.
Pog leaves the doorway and heads out.
You want a quick word with Hallis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alice checks his pocket watch.
Once they're out of the doorway, or once they're away enough, should be quick. We're all quite jumpy. The mark on the back of the map, do I need to worry about that?
Probably left there by the Mageite who examined it. It would be common for them to catalog the find, even though it will not be remaining with us. Should it ever? Well, a lot of these sorts of things end up being found on the corpses of adventurers.
So not an immediate concern.
I shouldn't think so.
Great. We're not people of great means, but, and I'll pull out 2 gold. And to him. For whatever amount of time you spend not talking about this.
He takes them, pockets them.
Take care. And I walk away.
Pog may not, but Colin really likes Alice.
Well, good. And I think that is probably where we will wrap this episode, as we are past our hour mark, I believe. Yep. Quite a bit.
Hope you all enjoyed this fun romp through Stormreach.
Yes. Yes.
Laughing.
Fun
Wow,
time.
the adventure.
Killing
Yep.
this.
Lighthearted.
Light and breezy. Thank you so much for watching. Episodes of Khyber Shards go up on Mondays. You can see episodes on Fridays that are our little Q&As that are usually a bit shorter and often feature me and one of the cast talking about answers to questions that our viewers propose. You can propose questions in the comments below. You can also put those over on our Discord, the link to which is in the description, along with all of our various social media. You can see Colin streaming at twitch.tv/sorrybtr whenever food service lets him. So be sure to check that out. You'll also find links down to that in the description. So basically all the links to engaging more with us are in the description. If this isn't
Put
enough.
a ring on it.
If you haven't had enough of us yet, see below. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. This has been Khyber Shards. Thanks for rolling with us.